All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accountant, and tips from Elaine's desk. All right. We're back today, guys, with some very important information, tips for effective financial management. This is what we want to talk about today. How do you manage your finances? I don't care whether you have $100, $1,000, $50,000 or $1 million in your business. One, if you don't manage your finances properly, we all know what happens. It could lead to disaster. So finances is what drives the company. It's the survival of the company. It's the reason for your company to grow. We have to be able to manage it. We have to maintain it. We have to make sure that we control it, right? And so that we can actually stay in business and not have a catastrophe financially, okay? So we're gonna talk about 3 tips in order for you to be able to do this. And the first one today, we're gonna jump right into this. Hi, Rod, thanks for jumping on here. We're gonna jump right into this. The first tip today, guys, is budgeting and forecasting. All right, so we're talking about financial management, budgeting and forecasting. So one of the key things when we start a business, or before we start the business, a lot of times we are encouraged, and I always say this, encouraging the client to create a budget. So you want to have an idea of what things are going to cost. Of course, you would need to know this. You need to know what it's going to cost you if you get in a brick and mortar store, what that rent is going to be. You want to know what it's going to cost you for to get assistance for salary or what have you, or maybe, you know, it could be 1 or 2 people. It doesn't matter depending on what that business is. So you need to get some type of cost. So you have to create a budget to see what it will cost for that, what it will cost to set things up, what it will cost for you to get computer systems that will be efficient for the type of business you're in. Sometimes, depending on the business, we have to get sophisticated computer and software programs. Others don't need it to be that sophisticated. So we need to make a budget of what these things would cost in order for us to operate, right? So you create a budget. This is where we want to start, budget and forecasting. We create a budget with what these things are going to cost us to operate. And then once we have that budget in place and we get the business started now, we really get a handle of what those costs are, because now you're in a place, now you know what the rent is, now you know what the utilities are going to be, right? Now you already have somebody working for you, so you know what that's going to cost you. So you initially created a budget, now you have actual costs, what they call actual costs, because this is what you know is costing you. So you have a budget that you created over here. Once you get started, you know what things are really costing. The reason that you need this information, what that costs, you could go back and check your budget and see how close you were in projecting. Because of course, to create a budget, guys, let me tell you, don't pull the numbers out the hat. You find out what these things are, right? If you were looking for what it's going to cost you to rent a space, of course, you're going to check and find out what that is in actuality. So your budget is going to be pretty point on. But once you start operating now and you have these actual costs, you can go back, check your budget, and see how close those numbers are, and then make adjustments. So if you know that your operating expenses are running a little bit over what you have projected, and it makes sense for the operation, go back and just adjust those numbers, right? So you keep a budget that's going to be controlling the way you operate. So that's what this means, right? That's what it means to have a budget. Once you start working, once you start operating, adjust the budget according to what the numbers really are. And then the third part to that is the forecast. Now that we know numbers, we can project. Now, if we are operating with $50,000, now we want to grow our business, we may need to increase that bottom line to $100,000, because now we're forecasting where we're going to be in the future, how much money we're going to need, how much we're going to pay for operation in order to make more money. So this is what it means by having good effective financial management in place, because it's all about the numbers. If we are trying to operate a business and the numbers is not making sense, then of course it's going to be a disaster. Of course the business is going to fail, right? So let's go over this. You start off first with a budget, because now you're going to try to figure out what those expenses are going to be for you to operate. So you create a budget. Then once you start operating, you have actual costs. Now you're paying these bills, so you know exactly what the phone is going to be. You know exactly what the utilities is going to be. You know exactly what the salary is going to be. All this now, you know this. And then when you put this all together, you can now know how to forecast and project the future. So once you start growing, you know, if your base operation expenses was $50,000 and you were making 100,000, now for you to make 200,000, you have to increase that base operation expenses. So it's just it may sound a little complicated, but it's very, very, very simple and straightforward once you really think about it. Okay, so these are the basis in terms of budgeting and forecasting in your business. You got to be able to manage your finances effectively. All right, Miss Risha, thanks for jumping in here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Afternoon, Miss Elaine. Yes, we're talking about tips for effective financial management in our business. Second point today, guys, is building financial reserves. Now, this is something we have to do personally and in business. Business is usually unpredictable. The economy changes on a regular basis. We don't know what the unexpected is going to be. So what we need to do personally and in our business, we have to build a financial reserve. So what happens is, because we stay on top of our budgeting, we stay on top of our dollars, we want to always make sure that there's a little bit set aside in reserve. So we have to do that on a regular basis. One great way to do this is just examine all of your expenses, see if you're spending anything unnecessary. And if you are, get rid of all your unnecessary spending, take that money, put it aside, put it up in reserve, and keep it there. Like they say, the old folks say, for a rainy day. When something changes drastically, the economy changes, or there's anything that affects the normal process of your incoming cash flow, you have a reserve in order for you to continue to operate effectively. That's all that means, guys. Build a financial reserve for emergencies as you go along in your business. Don't spend everything that comes in. Make sure you set aside some money. And again, good practice. We do it on a personal basis. We're supposed to do it personally. And of course, we take that straight to our business. All right. So you guys hit like and share on this video. We're talking about tips for effective financial management. Everything we talk about here that relates to business, relates to personal. If your personal house is not in order, then of course your business house is not going to be in order, right? So again, 3 things that we can do in order for us to have effective financial management. All right, so let's jump right into our third point today. And this right here is one of the things that almost everyone in business really, really needs. They ask this question all the time. The third thing that we want to talk about today is, how do you develop and maintain a healthy credit score? Everyone started a business and they're told that you can start your business, you can go out and you can buy whatever you want through your business. You can buy a house, you can buy a car, you can buy everything you want through business. And that's how you can develop a business credit score. Okay, fine. It sounds great. It doesn't quite start that way. You have to make sure that you would develop a healthy business credit score first, right? So your credit score has to be healthy, meaning that you got to make sure that your credit score looks good, you paid your bills on time, your credit score looks great. Then you can build a business credit score. I know I'm getting tied up with this word, because your credit score is going to depend on how fast the business credit score can be built, because a lot of the stuff you're going to have to personally guarantee. People don't tell you this. You're going to have to personally guarantee a lot of stuff that the business is going to be financing first before the business get established, right? So once you start your business, you get that business established legally, right? You open that business bank account, which is what you're going to do. You open the business bank account. You apply for a business credit card, right? Now, when you're applying for this business credit card, of course, they're going to want you to guarantee the monies that they're going to loan you on their credit card, because the business is not capable of standing on its own 2 feet as of yet. So it has to be in operation maybe a couple of years or so for it to be able to get its own credit. So you're going to be able to develop this by building the business credit through your credit. Going to initially ask you to guarantee any kind of money that they give the business, okay? However, it's not a lengthy process. Once you're in business and have the business set up legally, you can start the process. Once you open a business bank account, get a business credit card, and what you want to do is make sure that the business credit card is not maxed out. They say use about 30% of the business line that's on the credit card, pay your bills on time, and start developing and maintaining and building the business credit score. That's really it. It doesn't come that easy. You don't just open a business and bingo, you can go out and people will just give you a fleet of cars or a fleet of whatever, or just give you credit just in the business name, and the business is not established. No one is going to know whether this business can pay them back. So they're not going to just give you business credit just because you started a business. Okay. So that's how you develop a business credit, guys, based on the fact that your credit is good. You guarantee it initially, and then the business can apply for its own credit. Okay. Hey, Lorna Smith, thanks for the hearts. Laverne Smith, thank you for jumping on here. Great information. And Risha Utah said, that is so true. This wisdom for me. All right. Okay. So that is, hey, Cognac, thanks for jumping in here. So guys, so that's my 3 points today. Let me go back and recap these 3 points. It is tips for effective financial management is what we're talking about today. Hit like and share on this video, guys. And the thing about it is effective financial management is vital for any business survival. And without financial management, it doesn't matter if you have $1,000, $50,000, it can give you $2 million, right? And if you are not good with financial management, it's just not going to work. Okay, so it's very important to know what these tips are. So the first point today is budgeting and forecasting. And what it simply means is when you started your business, you had to create a budget. You had to have some idea what things are going to cost, what the office is going to cost, or what personnel is going to cost, what equipment is going to cost. You're going to do some research and know the stuff. Create a budget. And once you start operating and you know what those things really cost, because now you have to pay those bills, you can then adjust your budget accordingly as you go along. And forecasting is now that you have some real numbers and you have some budgeted numbers, which is what you estimated, you can then predict and do a forecast for your business to grow and see how much more money you're going to have to put in operations in order for you to make more money, because that's what the forecast is about. First point, budgeting and forecasting. All right. Connect, say hello, mom. All right. Hello, daughter. Second point today, guys, is building financial reserves for emergency. Like they said, save it for a rainy day. Don't spend all the money that comes in the business. After you take care of the operation, you have to be able to set some money aside. You cannot really predict, like I said, the unpredictable. Economic can change, anything can change. You want to make sure that there's some reserve for you to be able to continue to operate. So build a reserve. Make sure that you have some money on the set aside for emergencies. Anything can happen. You don't want it to affect the operation of the business. And then all of a sudden you completely crash because you weren't prepared, right? So all that initial investment go down the tubes. We don't want that to happen. And the third point, develop and maintain a healthy credit score. That is so important. The business, once you start, just can't go out and get credit. It has to depend on you having a great credit score, because you have got to guarantee the stuff. However, once you pay your bills on time, the business established it for a couple of years, you can go out and now the business can maintain its own credit score. And the reason you want to have a healthy credit score for the business, guys, is great because it can allow you to get funding, financing if you need it. It helps you with cash flow once you have good business credit. Okay, so this is so important for the growth of the business. Very seriously important to make sure that you start maintaining that immediately. As soon as the business gets started, set up and make sure that your credit is good so it can handle the business going out and getting its own credit after it is established for about 2 years. I think that's what they're looking for, about 2 years. Okay, so you get the bank account, you get a bank business credit card. Don't max it out, as they say, spend about 30% of it, and then pay all the bills on time and build a credit score so you can get funding, financing, and being able to work your cash flow very, very easily, more effectively, and the business can grow. That's the only way you can run a successful business, all right? So those are my 3 points today. Hit like and share on this video, guys. Make sure everybody gets this information, free information. Okay, so now this brings me to, I want to remind you guys, it is getting closer to May the 20th. May the 20th, powering your business forward, unlocking the secrets to business success. And it's going to be a panel discussion where we're going to be talking about funding and financing. Everybody is asking, how do I get money for my business? We're going to talk about funding and finances, what you need to do in order to get that. We're going to talk about some operation. How do you market your business and get more people to come and see you, know where you are, know what you got to offer. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about your marketing, branding, promotion, how to get that money, how to run an effective operation. Look, guys, if you don't have a good foundation laid to operate your business, I don't care what you do, you're not going to be as successful as you want to be if the operation is not in place. We have to do that. And we have to make sure that you are in compliance, paying your taxes, getting your licensing, all this good stuff we're going to talk about on May the 20th at this panel discussion. Guys, it's face-to-face. It's going to be a brunch at Little Belize Restaurant. You guys can come there. It's 3 hours from 10 to 1 o'clock, I believe that is. And all you do is you come to get all this information. I have all your questions that you need. Things that will make your business grow, guys, is funding, branding, marketing, great operation, staying in compliance. Those are the things we're going to talk about so that you can not only get your business started or take it to the next level, but also how you stay in business. That's what we're going to talk about. Norman Strong, hey. All right. I hope you already registered to be at this powering brunch that we're going to have on May the 20th. So guys, go to elainesdesk.com. Go to elainesdesk.com for this. Make sure you just sign up there. And if you want the brunch, go ahead and pay for the brunch. And if not, the information is free. So make sure that you're there, okay? So pass this information on. So Learn to Smith say May 28th Business Mixer. That's right. Sign up now. Okay, guys. So that's that. And if, in fact, you guys need further clarification on your business venture, finances, personal or otherwise, feel free to give me a call at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting at 323-290-9034 or go to our website, PROBY'Stax.com. Book yourself a 50-minute free consultation. If you have any concern about any steps that you need to make, anything that's a little bit, unnerving, maybe you're afraid. Some people are afraid to make that other step. And I know people who've been in business have it set up for years and years and years, but they're just a little bit scared to take the next step to move forward. So let me show you how to do this, okay? So Learn Smith say go to www.elainesdesk.com. That's right. That's where you go and register for this business brunch. Okay, so with that said, I think that covers it out. Make sure that you guys are back here again on Thursday for some more free information. We like to keep these short and sweet. You guys can go back and look at these videos, get some information from it, and, stay positive and stay on top. She says on Thursday, we're doing overcoming fear and self-doubt as a business owner. You know what? You guys got to listen to this. It's so funny. I just had this conversation with somebody today. Overcoming fear and self-doubt as a business owner. And a lot of times people don't make that next step. Some people is afraid to grow. They're afraid of success. They're scared of what might happen if, in fact, the business starts taking off and, and it becomes more successful than their mind have already anticipated. So some people is afraid of that. So we're going to talk about overcoming fear and self-doubt. So we're going to talk about that on Thursday, okay? So we can keep you all positive and make sure that we do this because 2023, again, like I said, is our year. Lots of money out there for everybody, and we want to make sure we get our share, right? Okay, with that said, I want you guys to have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon, and I will see you guys back here Thursday at 1 p.m. All right? So with that said, y'all take care of each other and take care of yourself. All right?